Six Flags Entertainment Company just dropped a bombshell on the coaster community this morning. Like, holy crap, this is crazy. Earlier this week, we saw the announcement of the closure of Green Lantern, the Parachute Ride, the Sky Ride, as well as another one of the flat rides at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. And earlier this morning, we got the announcement that King Dakar, the park's Intamin Strata coaster, was going to be removed, as well as Zumanjaro. So 6 ride removals for Six Flags Great Adventure. So to make up for that, the park decided that they were going to announce the 2026 edition. The company Six Flags decided that they were also going to announce the rest of their 2026 editions. So we don't know the exact rides, but we know what each park is getting for the 2026 season. And today I wanted to go a little more in depth about Canada's Wonderlands, because this is my home park, so I know a little bit more about potential ride removals and what and where this new ride could be going. So I'm just going to list off what each park is getting for the 2026 season. Not all the parks are on here. It seems like only the flagship ones are on here. And then I'm going to go in depth about what Canada's Wonderland is getting. So Carowinds is going to introduce a record-breaking water ride. Canada's Wonderland is going to add a record-breaking water attraction. Kings Island is going to introduce a new family thrill attraction. Not Soak City is going to receive a water park refresh and aesthetic enhancements. Six Flags Magic Mountain is going to debut a first of its kind coaster in North America. Six Flags Great America is going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary by adding a new kids area and updating park enhancements. Six Flags Great Adventure is going to be receiving a record-breaking launch coaster. Six Flags Over Texas is going to be releasing a new record-breaking dive coaster. And Six Flags Mexico will be receiving a new family thrill boomerang coaster. So a lot of new additions going into the larger parks in the chain. I do have some thoughts about that I might save for a different video. Like, I honestly thought that Valley Fair was in line for some sort of smaller scale thrill coaster, but I'll save those thoughts for another video, because I do want to focus just on Canada's Wonderland and what Canada's Wonderland is going to announce in the future. They have not announced this yet. This was just that Six Flags Entertainment Company had posted this, that Canada's Wonderland is going to be receiving a new water attraction for 2026. So it says specifically water attraction. Now, this is kind of vague. This really could be any kind of water ride, but I don't see it being a new water slide, because in 2024, Canada's Wonderland just got Moosehorn Falls. I don't see them adding another water slide, even though they do have space next to Moosehorn Falls for another water slide. I don't see it happening. The two most likely options I can see Canada's Wonderland getting for the 2026 season are a water coaster either by Intamin or Mach, or a log flume. I don't know who's been building the log flumes recently. I know Intamin actually did a launched log flume for SeaWorld San Antonio, but I can't see Canada's Wonderland getting anything like that, because I did hear that ride had a lot of problems and it had a delayed open. So I'm sticking to just on the regular log flume or a water coaster from Mach or Intamin. So those are my two most likely options for what Wonderland could get, but there is still the option that Wonderland could get a water slide, and I'm completely wrong. But I just personally can't see it. I don't see it happening, at least this year. Maybe in 2027, maybe down the road. 100% they're going to reinvest in the water park as well, because they have the space to now. But in terms of where this new attraction is going to go, there are actually a couple different locations that I have pointed out or spotted. So the first one would be a Dragonfire. So there's another channel in the Wonderland community that has posted markings that they found around Dragonfire potentially leading to its removal. It's definitely an option. I do not think personally that Dragonfire is going to be removed. It's not out of the picture. Personally, I don't think so, because they do have Vortex's trains from Kings Island and that they've been using for spare parts. The ride does not seem to reach the end of its service life. It's not really an intense coaster in terms of the G-forces that it pulls on its track. Vortex at Kings Island actually pulled a decent amount of force. Not that Dragonfire isn't forceful, but Vortex was just a much larger of a coaster than Dragonfire. So I do think Dragonfire will be sticking around. They did do some maintenance on the brakes a few years ago as well, so the ride has been running really well. But I can't ignore these markings that have been popping up. So Dragonfire's plot of land could actually fit all three of my options. So the Intamin and Mach water coasters are both very linear. They're very skinny, so they can fit on a very slim plot of land like Dragonfire. Even if both of them have a turntable, the turntable doesn't take up that much more space. And the log flume could also use the part of Dragonfire's plot that kind of goes closer to Leviathan. They can make it weave between Leviathan supports and add some theming and some stuff back there. As well as even they could loop it onto Riptide's plot of land as well if they were to take out that ride too. So My reasoning that why I don't think that this new attraction will replace Dragonfire is that I think they could use Dragonfire's plot of land more to their advantage with another ride, another coaster to be exact. So if they took out Speed City and if they took Riptide, they would have a bigger plot of land there for a different type of coaster to come down the line. So I don't think it would be for 2026. Another plot of land that I do think that this new attraction for 2026 could use is Time Warp. So Time Warp is again another skinnier plot of land. It was a cookie cutter coaster, and the Intamin and Mock water coasters are cookie cutter coasters as well. They would fit in this plot of land if they extended it a little bit more towards Kingswood. They could easily fit those two coasters, or either of those coasters there, or the log flume could also fit in that plot of land as well. The log flumes can also be pretty compact. I know there's a couple of them that are pretty spread out, but if you look at, there's some other ones, I haven't been on very many log flumes, but I know there are ones that are a little bit more compact and they have two lift hills. I'm thinking of like the one at Waldemere. That one's pretty compact and fits on a pretty small plot of land, and that would require the removal of Time Warp, which I have been hearing for a very long time that this ride is going to be removed, and you can just see by looking at it. I'm not going to go into detail, but if you just go ride Time Warp next year, you will see what I'm talking about. So I do think that is a potential option, that Time Warp could be removed. It's a rumor I've heard, and it would just make sense to put something over there. They did have a log flume over there. It was called Zimba Flume, but it was removed way before I was born to make way for Flight Deck. I think it also did occupy part of Time Warp's plot of land. I don't know exactly. It was somewhere over in that area. So it would be interesting to see them replace Time Warp and bring back Zimba Flume. I do think that is an option. The park seems like they wanted to add, it's been thrown around a little bit in the rumor mill that they wanted to add a log flume. This is speculation that I've heard. So I do think that is a possible option, especially for Grand World Expo, to expand that area and bring some more life to that, because I do think that they would be the start of the Grand World Expo expansion if they went down that route. Another option is to put this new water attraction in Whitewater Canyon's forest, although I would really want this for a GCI like Mystic Timbers. I do think that this is a potential option, but the only reason why it wouldn't make sense is because Timberwolf Falls is right there. So Timberwolf Falls and a water coaster are pretty similar. Even a log flume, honestly, they have that big drop with the splash at the end. It would kind of make Timberwolf Falls kind of redundant, so why wouldn't they just replace, like, tear out Timberwolf Falls and put it in that place anyways? Which is the option I think is more likely than it being in Whitewater Canyon Forest. I do think Timberwolf Falls could be one of the next rides to leave the park, even more likely than Time Warp, which I've been thinking Time Warp was the most likely one after Extreme Skyflyer, but I do think Timberwolf is now the most likely ride to be leaving Canada's Wonderland. This is purely my speculation. It would make total sense. Both of these rides are very similar to Timberwolf Falls. They both will have a splash at the end of the ride. I really think that these rides would have a better capacity than a ride like Timberwolf Falls, and the plot where this ride would go is also surrounded by water, so they wouldn't have to create a new water reservoir or area for a splash area, and it just makes perfect sense. I do think that this is the most likely option for where this new ride is going to go, personally. As of what it's going to be, I still think it could be either three: the Intamin, the Mock water coaster, or the log flume. And there is another video that I made a while ago about Frontier Canada not being finished, and I do think that this would be their way of starting to add back into Frontier Canada to finish it off, to complete it. So I think that that would include this new water attraction for 2026. Maybe there's like an off year in 2027 where they add a smaller flat ride, maybe somewhere else in the park, and then they come back to Frontier Canada for maybe 2028, 2029 for a GCI. I really want a GCI. I got back on Mystic Timbers again this year, and I rode it a lot, and I love Mystic Timbers. That would come at the expense, though, of a removal of one of our wooden coasters. That's a topic for another whole video, but final prediction for this 2026 water attraction, I do think that it will be a Intamin or Mock water coaster, or a log flume that will replace Timberwolf Falls. That is my final prediction. I'm interested to see what is going to happen. It's actually very exciting. I didn't think Wonderland again would get this big of an investment if we are getting a water coaster or a log flume. It could be very well be wrong about those two ride predictions. It could be a smaller flat ride. that has some kind of water effect. It could be another water slide, and I'm completely wrong with the whole Moosehorn Falls. But let me know what you guys think about this new attraction. I'm certainly excited. I did not think after Alpine Fury we'd be getting something all that big. I thought it'd be like maybe an off year, but yeah, two amazing years coming up for Canada's Wonderland, Alpine Fury, and now this new attraction. So I'm very excited. It's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, we haven't even gone to Alpine Fury yet, guys. It hasn't even gone vertical. So yeah. Anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and stay tuned for more videos on this and more Alpine Fury updates. And I'm going to be at the park this weekend for, I don't know why I just slammed down my pencil on the table. I'm going to be at the park this weekend for Winterfest. So I'll have another video on that for you guys as well. And I'll be checking out everything in person. So take it easy, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.